Right, Ahmed? Gravitate? Ah, there you go. No, not because I actually don't have any money to rob. But the point is, it's not fair to link it to something you can't do. So why would Allah reveal something and link it to your only way of salvation? So then he started to give me some gibberish about, the mystery and all mystery. And I told him, look, you can't accept mystery when it comes to your salvation. If Allah is going to show me the path to Jannah, people, that path has to be clear. It can't be in a maze. It can't be. We talk about salvation, it's not a joke. The message of Allah has to be clear so that the severely intellectual person can get it. But also the very simple human being who is of sane mind can get it as well. That's what Tawheed. Everybody can understand Tawheed. Smart, not so smart, they can understand it. Everyone can understand Tawheed. So, because it's the message of salvation. Now there are issues not everyone in the Ummah can understand. Islamic finance gets intricate. What if, imagine, only way to go to Jannah is to understand Islamic finance. Man, see? It's not fair. So the easy thing is your road to Jannah. So anyways, and actually he said, and I said this was the question, I said, look, which one of these is easier, makes more sense to you? That there's only one God who does not have relatives or children, he's indivisible, or the Christian version. I'm not saying which one do you like more, which one do you believe in. I'm saying which is easier to comprehend. The Islamic version of one God, who doesn't have children or relatives or neighbors or grandparents or anything, or the Christian one, of three gods, physically separated, yet they're one. One of them dies for 3 days, instead of becoming two, they're still one. Which is easier to comprehend? And he said in front of the girl, quote, the one that is more intellectually satisfying is the Muslim version. And I got him to admit a number of points in front of her that the one in Islam is better. Alright, and we trapped him a number of times in front of her. But you know what? She was on his side. It's what's our guy going to say to him? So my arguments didn't come through all the way like, that you would expect. So, a lot of times people ask me what happened in the end. I can't work miracles. It's up to Allah Azza wa Jal. And as far as I knew, she was still upon that. So whomsoever Allah guides, none can misguide him. Whomever He allows to go astray, none can guide him except Allah Azza wa Jal. She actually said this to the first Imam that spoke to her. She said, I used to read the Quran, then I started to read the Bible, then I started to pray to Allah to guide me. So the one of them that's the truth. So she said, why did Allah guide me to the Bible then? See that question? What are you going to tell her? How would you answer that? Yeah?
Was it really God?
Okay, how do you know it was God? Well, I prayed to Him. What else? Yes, sir? He's testing everyone? Testing you, yani? Possibly. What else?
You pray to a shaitan?
Possibly, but you said I prayed to God. Yeah?
How do you know that you weren't misguided to the Bible rather than guided to the Bible?
Jazakallah. Yeah, very good. All these are good answers, and they're all possible answers. That Imam actually told her, he said to her, he tells her, Allah punished you because you were born into the truth, knew the Quran, and knew His religion. Like so many people, they go through journeys and suffering and reading to find the truth. He made you born into it. He had you born into it, and the truth was in front of your eyes your whole life, and you started going elsewhere, looking for it. So there's a punishment to Allah for me. Maybe it was a bit harsh. I knew they got into it a little bit. But anyways, but the point of that was that the leader of their church, we were able to end the whole Trinity issue and get him to admit that the Islamic system was better within a few minutes. We still didn't open this book and chapter this and chapter that. It's a can of worms. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. Now, for those of you who are interested in getting to learn these things, I still recommend, no matter how well versed you are, that you don't get into it biblically with people. It just doesn't end. So many times we've had discussions on Trinity and it ended in a few sentences. But the minute you open that Bible, it doesn't end in a few sentences. It just keeps going on and on. You give them this verse, oh yeah, but it's linked to the other verse. Well, actually, there is no link, but that's their excuse. Then you give them a verse to refute that. Well, this explanation, that's not how I understood this verse. It doesn't end, So what you're going to do, you want them to think, ask a few questions that get them to think outside of the box. The minute they step out, it's easier to talk to them, for them to see all the other flaws. It's easier for them to see all the other flaws. That's why with a lot of people, when we discuss Trinity, we ask these questions. They get them to think outside the box. 1 in 3, 3 in 1. How many gods were there? Why is there no explicit mention of Trinity, even though it's the most important thing? They try to give analogies. We break them apart. So now they start to see. By the way, and one of the scholars in the field of rhetorical criticism. Anyone study communications here? Okay, I really want to let you guys study it. That's great. Okay. So he studied conversion theory, or he formed something called conversion theory. He studied when people convert from anything to anything else, from Republican to Democrat, from this to that, from Muslim to from Christian to Muslim, and in his study of analyzing what happens to people mentally, he came up with the first step is it involves the breakdown in one's own belief system. See? And so it's someone who starts to doubt his belief in Christianity, and then he might accept more of what you tell him about Islam. If he's still rock solid here, it might take longer for him to take a nicer look at Islam. So that's why when you ask these questions, you first get them to step outside of that box. So look, this is what you're believing in. It's a problem. You've probably all seen that guy who manages the rat temple. In India, he's got that temple and all these rats, and he feeds them, and they're just all over him, just thousands of rats. And when you look at it outside of the box, you're like, what on earth? Because you're outside of the box. But inside of the box, he's like, these are my reincarnated brothers. So inside the box, it's different. Outside the box, it's a different story. Get him to step outside of the box. You'll see that, hey, you're not holy. You're just hanging around with a bunch of rats. That's all you're doing. That's outside of the box. That's what it is. So, okay. Let me give you some. I'm reluctant to spend the rest of my time on Trinity because the arguments are there. Okay, is that too bad if we skip all the little arguments that are already available online? Is it too bad? Okay, great. It's not too bad. So I'm skipping that. I'm going to ask you one question here. Have you heard of transmigration? Transmigration? Basically, it's it's kind of like reincarnation. Someone who believes that you can be, if you don't accumulate enough good karma, in the next life you can become like a rat or a snail or something like that. But then you could also become a human again. There's hope. You can become a human again. So, give me some questions about that. Yes, sir.
How does a snail accumulate good karma?
There you go. And there's actually, when you work closely, sometimes with classmates, you gotta give them some da'wah. We had this group project, so in the end, I give everybody a booklet on Islam, and then one of them said, actually, I'm a Buddhist. That's my religion. So I asked her, do you believe in transmigration and stuff? She said, yeah. I said, okay, I'm not trying to be funny, but I need to, can you go from human to rat and back to human again? She said, yeah. I said, okay, now I'm not trying to be funny. I need you to explain to me what kind of activities does a rat do to get good karma and become a human in the next life? And does the rat wake up and say, today I won't steal any cheese? What does he do, this rat? Seriously, what does this rat do to become a good rat? So he can become a human in the next life. The minute I asked her that question, a minute ago she said, that's my religion. The minute I asked her that question, she said, well, it's not really a religion, it's a philosophy. I said, is that what it is? Okay, so how about this? Who has heard of 5%ers?
5%.
5%ers? So one time this 5%er gave me a ride to my car. He's telling me on the way, it's just, who wants to explain what 5%ers are? Yes, sir. That's it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they believe that 5% of them are God, and they're usually rappers.
I love how you put it. It's excellent.
Islam or breakups.
Yeah, they're weird like that. They say like they're the 5% of the population that really knows what's going on. Yeah.
They say that Allah is 5 fingers or something.
Arm, leg, arm, head. Okay. I mean, they say Allah it's human. What's a human? 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. So they say Allah is actually arm, leg, arm, head. Imagine it was just spelled differently. Then what? Your whole theory goes out the window. And it's just ridiculous. So anyways, the point is, this 5% is giving me a ride to my car. And so I'm giving you an example of when you hear something that you never heard before, how do you refute it? You want it, you know that it's not true, it's got to have holes in it. If it has holes in it, you got to find the holes. That's it. That's all you do. All right? And you know you're upon the truth. So if I'm upon the truth, you're upon falsehood, and you have holes in your belief system, all I have to do is dig, examine, ask questions, and I'll find the holes. So this guy's giving me a ride to my car. He's saying, look, actually I'm God. You're God. We're all God. You don't have to worship anybody. We're God. I said, okay, what makes you God? He said, human beings are divine because of their higher intelligence. Because they're above animals. They understand. They can communicate in intricate detail. That's why we're God. Alright, so go ahead and refute that. Even though you never heard it before. Someone new. With one, go ahead. Oh, sister. Let me get the sister. Yes, sister. You heard what the sister said? Some people are mentally retarded. Is that strong or what? What if you're born with some kind of mental defect and you're not intelligent? What's the ruling in your religion for those people? Are they like cattle? What do we do with them? They're not divine like us. Shall we treat them bad? Make fun of them? What's your ruling there? And that's all I asked him, and the guy, that was it. He was stumped. He never thought of that. What's the ruling? Go on.
Ask them to fly.
Sorry?
Tell them to fly.
Tell them to fly. Okay, you're divine. Show me something. Let me push you off the cliff. Yeah?
If I'm a god, why am I poor?
Just pull your pockets inside out. Like, what kind of a broke God is this? Yes, sir.